Have you ever noticed how some people seem almost immune to the mental chaos that captures everyone else? Like they can hear the same news, face the same pressures, encounter the same difficult people, and yet something in them remains untouched by the collective anxiety. While you might find yourself getting swept up in worry spirals or obsessive thinking patterns, they maintain this quiet inner spaciousness that feels almost impossible to disturb. And you might assume they developed this through years of discipline or endless practice. But what if I told you that isn't true? What if I told you this immunity isn't something they built, but something they discovered was already there? A dimension of awareness that exists in the spaces between thoughts. Not created, not earned, not practiced into existence, just noticed. You've probably glimpsed this natural freedom yourself in those brief moments when your mind went completely quiet. No commentary, no narrative, no effort, just awareness, open, spacious, and untouched. There's something happening in your consciousness right now that most people never learn to recognize. Between each thought, in the pause before your mind comments on what you're reading, there's a gap, a space of pure awareness that isn't thinking about anything at all. Most of us rush right past these gaps. We're so accustomed to constant mental activity that we barely notice the moments when thinking stops entirely. But these brief spaces are actually where your deepest intelligence lives, the awareness that can observe thoughts without being consumed by them. Think about when you're listening to a sound you can't identify. In those first few seconds, before your mind labels it or creates a story about it, there's just pure perception. No commentary, no analysis, just alert, present awareness. This isn't about having fewer thoughts or different thoughts. It's about discovering the space in which all thoughts appear and dissolve. When you become familiar with this space, something remarkable happens. Thoughts lose their power to control you because you're no longer completely identified with them. The space between thoughts is where real freedom lives, and it's accessible to you right now. If you're still here, you've probably noticed that your mind has been commenting on what I'm saying. The fact that you can observe this mental activity means you're already touching the dimension of awareness I'm describing. You're ready to explore what lies beyond the constant stream of thinking. If this is resonating with you, please subscribe. Here's something most people don't realize. Thoughts can behave like viruses. Just as a physical virus invades your body and reproduces itself, certain thought patterns can invade your mind and take over your entire way of seeing the world. You can observe this in yourself when a worry or obsession grabs hold. One anxious thought attracts related anxious thoughts until your whole mental landscape becomes infected with the same pattern. Suddenly, you're seeing threats everywhere, problems in every situation, reasons to worry about things that haven't even happened. This mental infection doesn't just affect individuals. It spreads through entire groups, communities, even civilizations. You can watch it happen in real time through social media, news cycles, and collective obsessions that sweep through society like wildfire. But here's what's fascinating. When you're completely identified with your thoughts, you can't see that you've been infected. The virus has convinced you that it's protecting you, that it's necessary, that it's actually you thinking these thoughts. The only immunity to mental infection is awareness, the space between thoughts that can observe thinking without being overtaken by it. When you know yourself as this aware presence, thoughts can move through you without colonizing your entire consciousness. Right now, notice the gap that exists when I stop speaking. In that silence, you're still aware, but there's no mental commentary happening. You're just alert, present, conscious, but not thinking about being conscious. This is the space I'm pointing to. Not empty, but spacious. Not unconscious, but free from the constant movement of thought. See if you can sense this quality of awareness that remains when thinking pauses, even if just for a moment. One of the strangest things about destructive thinking patterns is that they don't want to stop. It's as if they have their own momentum, their own will to survive. You can see this clearly with worry. Even when you recognize that worrying has never solved a single problem, the worried thoughts keep insisting they're necessary. This happens because you've been feeding these patterns with your attention for so long that they've become strong, habitual movements in consciousness. Every time you engage with a worry, analyze it, try to solve it mentally, you're giving it the energy it needs to continue. But thoughts are not self-sustaining. They need consciousness, your awareness, to survive. When you withdraw your attention from a destructive thought pattern and place it elsewhere, the pattern begins to lose its power. This isn't about suppressing thoughts or fighting them. It's about recognizing that you have a choice about where you place your attention. You can choose to feed the mental virus, or you can choose to starve it of the consciousness it needs to survive. The key is learning to redirect your attention consciously, deliberately, to something more life-giving than the endless loops of mental activity. The most direct way to break free from mental infection is surprisingly simple. Become aware of your breathing. Not thinking about your breath, but actually feeling it. This immediately takes your attention out of the conceptual mind and into present moment aliveness. When you feel the breath moving in your body, when you sense the life force that animates you, you're connecting with who you are beneath all the mental stories. This isn't a technique you have to master. It's a return to your natural state. Your breath is always happening now. It can't be rushed into the future or pulled into the past. When you rest your attention there, you step out of mental time travel and into the dimension where thoughts can't control you. The intelligence that keeps your heart beating, that coordinates the trillions of cells in your body. This is your deeper identity. Not the story your mind tells about you, but the conscious presence that experiences the story. This awareness doesn't need to be achieved or developed. It only needs to be discovered, recognized, remembered. So how do you practically live from this space of awareness, rather than being controlled by mental patterns? Here's what actually works. Practice 1. Gap recognition. Throughout your day, notice the natural pauses. between sentences, between activities, between thoughts. Don't try to create these gaps. Just become aware of the ones that are already there. In these moments, you're experiencing consciousness without mental content. Practice 2. The immunity check. When you notice your mind getting infected by worry, anger, or obsessive thinking, ask, where does this pattern want to take me? Then consciously redirect your attention to physical sensation, your breath, your hands, the aliveness in your body. Practice 3. Story versus reality. Whenever you feel upset or anxious, check whether your suffering is coming from what's actually happening or from the story your mind is telling about what's happening. Most suffering comes from unobserved mental commentary, not from life itself. Remember, the goal isn't to stop thinking entirely. Thinking is a wonderful tool when used consciously. The aim is to no longer be unconsciously controlled by every thought that passes through your mind. Over the next few weeks, you'll start noticing the difference between being lost in thought and being aware of thought. You'll catch mental infections earlier before they completely take over your consciousness. You'll discover that the space between thoughts isn't empty. It's alive, intelligent, and deeply peaceful. Each time you remember to return to awareness, you strengthen your immunity to mental viruses. You'll find that thoughts still arise, but they no longer have the power to completely possess your consciousness. If this understanding of mental immunity speaks to you, you're exactly who this channel is for. People who are ready to stop being unconsciously controlled by thought patterns and start living from conscious awareness. If this touched something real in you, subscribe to join others discovering the freedom that exists in the space between thoughts. Share in the comments when you first noticed the gap between thoughts